everything we've ever owned is still is somewhere. Just think about it. Like I'm talking about this from like a landfill. Perspective. Just like
everything that we've thrown away.
Everything in our lives is still there. Hello.
How we doing, boys?
Not too bad. Yourself, Connor?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, first thing in the morning.
Wednesday morning. I mean, it is.
So, welcome back. Welcome back to PMH Podcast. Episode...
Numero 7.
Number 7. Look
7.
at that.
Yeah.
I love how you always would look to me.
I was the one who edits. So.
Yeah, I know. I need to be on top of this.
Yeah, so we're doing this in the morning now.
High energy.
Previously, always done these in the evening, afternoon. But we always find we're such low energy.
And in a rush.
You get tired by the end of the day, right?
And because it gets dark and it's just like...
I feel good this morning.
Mm-hmm. I feel really good, yeah.
Any reasons why?
Working out's going well.
Yeah.
I'm feeling motivated at the minute.
Yeah, I agree.
Annoying about work, just the kind of not
inconsistency.
The inconsistencies in it, but I think the fact that it's giving me time to focus on myself as well.
Yeah.
Which I'm quite liking.
Yeah.
I think that's what's also good about this time at home.
Yeah, definitely. You got stuff to work on that you wouldn't normally pay attention to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. During the first and second lockdown, I just took that as time to just play games.
Yeah.
Like, to do work and play games. But now, like, for some reason, third lockdown, I think we're all in the mindset. It's like, let's actually...
Well, the novelty's
let's actually do something.
And it's just like, there's...
no excuses anymore.
I think, so the first lockdown...
We've had a year off.
Yeah. The first lockdown, I was really, again, motivated working out and stuff.
Yeah,
I really
definitely.
enjoyed that. Second lockdown, zero motivation.
Well, because we were working exactly the same, because they allowed us to still
also,
work.
the weather, you know how, like, it was, November,
December,
yeah.
First lockdown was beautiful.
Yeah.
First lockdown we had, whereas now, the days are getting longer. You're starting to feel like you're getting into spring a bit.
The first half was definitely hard. Like early January, after New Year's and Christmas wore off, it was just like, so when's this going to be over?
But also for us, like, we were trying to sort him out, get him settled while planning for Monte Carlo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and now we're just like,
yeah, we had that, didn't we?
Now we don't have a huge. Well, we're planning stuff, don't we? But we're not.
Yeah.
We're not
secret projects.
We got secret.
Well, it's the end of the financial year for everyone.
Like we've had messages and people just being like, "Yeah, let's do this next month."
Yeah.
So when I was like, "Oh, really? Next month?" There's only reason. It's just like, no, it's just not the right time right now. It's just like,
yeah,
all right, okay. So you've got bills to pay.
Yeah, that's why we're so fortunate that we don't do one-off work with clients. It's like
we've got
repeat business and we got contracts with a few clients and everything. So we're still good.
Should we get into it?
Yeah, we've got quite a structure.
Today we have all planned 3 topics for the podcast. Maybe four, depending how we get going. I mean, we're not really struck for time, so if it runs, it runs.
Could be a 2-hour podcast, could be 3, could be a Joe Rogan style, and we could just go for 4.
Let's just not work today.
Just podcast 6 hours.
just back to back podcast. Let's do it. Connor, do you want to kick us off with the iPad?
I will. Let me just grab up my my notes. I've now created a new podcast section in my notes.
That is mature.
Yeah,
you're growing up.
Do you guys ever have it where with your notes it just becomes such a mess and you've got like...
I did that and then I've now pinned 2 that I need to... that I need to like keep an eye on.
Well, look at all of that, like, and I made this one about like a week ago.
Yeah, I need to go back and pin some.
Yeah, so right, my first topic, digital collectibles. They're very hot right now.
Yeah, explain.
Actually, both of you are probably very, very. You actually probably know a lot about them, but you just don't realise you know a lot about them.
I feel like I might know what they are.
Probably actually more so than you.
Yeah.
Digital collectibles.
Because Quinn, you play a game where digital collectibles are actually called NFTs or non-fungible tokens.
Yes, I know what an NFT is. Yeah.
Now, for you, Quinn, you play Fortnite.
Yeah.
And you play a lot of it.
Yeah.
So you know, like the skins in Fortnite, all of that. They
are like FIFA points, stuff that you can't then sell for money. They are
So that
money's locked in
that's
the game.
a non-fungible token, or actually its other name is a cryptographic token.
Is that the proper name?
Well, both they're the exact same thing.
Yeah, I know NFT. Yeah.
See, I've actually been pretty good though on that front.
My addiction has got worse.
No, my brother has spent, back in Fortnite's heyday, he spent probably about like 300 quid on it.
Oh well, so the market.
I've spent 40 quid.
The market on non-fungible tokens is about 2.5 billion, if not more, a year. Now that's not so. And what people do in that regard is the gaming industry is a huge industry is on its own, but just the collectibles within it is a huge global industry on its own. And so what we're starting to find is people of our age and above, we like to collect things and have a physical product. Right over there right now is a Lego set, which my mum bought my dad, which is a collectible Lego set for Christmas. It's a Ford Mustang.
Love them.
Quite rare and expensive, right? So it's in a collectible item. It's physically there. But these
like the Pokemon card resurgent and baseball cards and those sort of things now, is our sort of era.
Going on to so I'll give you a bit more background on the digital collectibles. So a non-fungible token, or NFT, is a cryptographic currency. A token that is inevitable, is unique to itself, and offers a myriad of options of creating, trading, and digital assets. So, actually, the whole technology behind it is the exact same technology that's behind cryptocurrencies.
That makes sense.
Now,
you can trade it more. It's more.
But so the original idea behind cryptographic tokens is so you can trade digital artworks from each other, or.
Did you ever used to play Habbo Hotel?
No, I can't say
on the
that
old PC. I used to play that in primary school. You basically used to make skins, like in someone would make skins, and then sell them on the marketplace for tokens to buy better stuff in the game. So that's like the origin.
Yeah. So this is then leading on to my kind of like next point. So, so developers an NFT, the developer has full control, right?
So they price whatever they want.
Yeah. So they although they sell you an asset, they are selling you a license to use the asset, not actually giving you the asset. Whereas now what you're seeing to starting to take place is they're passing over the control to the user, so they can then at a later date monetize from it. So these collectibles, so maybe not so much in games, but actually Logan Paul.
Yeah.
So you know how he's doing his Pokemon
with the card
again,
with his custom card, yeah.
He's got a custom card, but he's also doing a digital collectible, which is minted.
Yeah.
So he, whoever bids for that and buys it will be the only one in the world to ever have it.
And that price will just go up and up and up and up.
Now, what they're really targeting here is the Gen Z, so like the younger audience who actually
was it like 12 to 13 at the moment?
Yeah, well, even below, like they want to have they want to have their collectibles with them so they can show their friends on their phone.
Because no one wants to carry around the cards anymore. Cause
if
you walk around with a binder of Pokemon cards, just like
yeah, the good old days.
Yeah.
So like it'd be one-off. There'll be one-off. Like the whole technology behind it is so that even though you won't be able to copy it, you won't be able to screen record it, you won't be able to, unless you literally had your phone here recording it. But still, it won't be the real thing.
No, yeah.
And like these things,
there'll be like a code on it or something built into it. Yeah,
and it's really impressive technology. Like, I mean, I want to learn a bit more about it.
I still think QR codes are just. Yeah, I do. I just think QR codes are just mental.
See, it's like I think it's really impressive. Like,
yeah,
I see where it's going, and I see where it's. I personally, I can appreciate it. I wouldn't do it myself. I'm probably not going to buy a digital collectible. They're looking at, probably doing it with the NBA. So, like, if there's like a game-winning shot,
you buy that,
and you'll be the only owner of the game-winning shot. Like things like that.
That's actually quite cool. Yeah, I'd see that. That's why I'd be more inclined to buy like a limited edition Pokemon card, because even if it doesn't go up and down in price. I still have something.
Yeah.
Which is why I would more so do that than invest in crypto. Because at the end of the day, if you lose your crypto, you've got nothing to choose. Yeah. But then if you've got a Pokemon card, it's just like, it bombed in price, but I've still got something.
I think like this is a market that's going to develop rapidly, quickly in the next few years.
Interesting to keep an eye on it, definitely.
Yeah, and I think, yes, it could be something to get into, but I mean, look, Logan Paul's leading the way on it. He's
from that, I'm
backing it.
Yeah,
he's like,
we single-handedly surged the market.
Seems to be ahead. Have you seen he's moving to Puerto Rico?
Is he?
Leaving California.
Did you watch the podcast? Did you watch the whole thing?
No, so I've watched like the first first hour.
What did he say? Did he actually say that he's fully moving?
Fully moving. George was very pissed off, not happy with him.
I think it might just be
Mike is not leaving. Him and
Lana are moving in together, probably.
No, he hasn't said yet. They're still trying to work out the details.
I don't know if that's going to work.
Mike might stay at Logan's house in LA. He might keep it.
That's what I was thinking.
Him and Jake have bought a house together in Puerto Rico, or in the process of buying one. But the podcast could be ending. They're trying to keep it going.
Nah, there's no way.
Do you reckon Logan's trying to slow down his life a bit now?
No, he's going to keep he's just built a new set. There's no way.
He started...
I feel like I'm in denial.
he was talking about that, though.
Yeah.
He was talking about how he's just wasted 60k, 70k on this new set.
I think it's all...
And
I think it's clickbaity.
No, this is serious.
Yeah, I know, but can you really ever...
So many people are leaving LA now.
They just realise that they don't have to be in the centre of
the
industry.
In California, it's 16% tax, right?
It's ridiculous, yeah.
In Puerto Rico, it's 4%. So he would keep 96% of his income.
Yeah. He'd be...
That's crazy. That's way better than here.
That's the dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's one of his main reasons.
They were talking about going to Houston or Dallas.
He said no.
Yeah, I didn't think...
He said because it's just like being in the middle of nowhere, whereas if you're in Puerto Rico, you're in paradise in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, you're just... Yeah, if you're in Dallas or if you're in anywhere like that.
So that's interesting. But he's built a new... so he started day trading. He started doing a lot of trading in crypto. So he's making a lot of money from that now. And he's got stocks and investments, and he wants to focus on. He wants to write some movies as well, so he feels like he doesn't have the distractions.
Yeah, he's done that. He's done. He's directed a movie. I've known he's done one movie.
He's done a couple, yeah.
Done music videos. I haven't watched the movie. I watched the music videos, and they're actually alright.
Yeah,
like if you didn't think it was made by Logan Paul, you'd be like, yeah, it's a pretty good music video.
He was saying that he needs to move away from the distractions to make him a better person to be able to focus.
He's only like 26 as well, like.
Yeah, so look, if that's what he wants to do, fair play.
He is kind of wise beyond his years, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%.
But also,
he surrounds himself with the right people.
He's been so ahead. No. So actually, if this is a serious move, it's probably
gonna work.
Gonna work for him. Do you know? Like,
and if it doesn't, he's probably still
Jake's moved to Miami.
Oh yeah, but
gone.
Obviously,
he's going.
You know why?
He's then going to move to Puerto Rico with Logan.
That's so mad.
Yeah,
Puerto Rico. I don't really know enough about Puerto Rico.
But yeah, so digital collectibles, interesting. They're cool.
They're really cool.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Well, so now I've got an interesting one for you.
Mm-hmm. So
this is going completely out of the blue. Do you know who Larry the Cat is?
No. Larry the Cat.
Larry the Cat. So it was Larry the Cat's 10th anniversary yesterday, and Larry
the Cat at Downing Street. Yeah, been through 10 years now.
So
how many? 4 prime ministers?
Larry the Cat has been at 10 Downing Street for 10 years, was originally brought in to deter from the mouse problem that they had. He's from Battersea Cats and Dogs Home.
Nice.
He's worked with 3 prime ministers and welcomed 2 US presidents, and is known for fighting pigeons.
Respect. Larry. What a legend.
I actually really appreciate you bringing this topic up. That's awesome.
Cool, right?
Yeah, it's cool.
I saved some pictures.
Isn't it just a black... Yeah.
This is Larry.
I'll put it.
Oh, that's a great photo.
This is my personal favourite one. But
I'll put that one there.
Yeah.
I bet Larry doesn't even realise how popular he is. It's just oblivious to it all.
And then there was
She's very close to Donald Trump.
Also, my other favourite. This is brilliant. I think. Look at Bojo.
Yeah.
That must be photoshopped.
This is what. But no, this is a real photo.
There.
Yeah. But yeah, Larry the Cat. Why? I was a bit annoyed that I didn't know about Larry the Cat.
Yeah, I remember seeing it yesterday. I saw it. Did you see it yesterday? Yeah.
It's on Twitter. I saw it on Telegraph.
Yeah. It's weird.
That's cool though.
I thought it was.
Why don't we like?
It's probably the most famous cat.
Well, like in America, bringing your dog to the White House is a very big, significant thing.
I mean, I know Boris has a dog,
but it's not like the Downing Street dog.
It made the new, but this is quite literally the Downing Street cat.
Not anyone's cat.
It's
the Downing Street cat.
It's actually that cat's house more than it is any person.
Who's been there the longest?
Yeah, I mean, he's probably on. He's equal to what's her name? Margaret Thatcher. She was there for 10 years. So he's lived there as long as Margaret Thatcher.
10 years?
Yeah, she was in power for 10 years.
Wow.
Was she?
Yeah.
Wow.
How come that happened? Was it just different
because
rules?
There was a rule,
we
wasn't
don't have a limit on how long you can run
Yeah.
for in the UK. So
It's just always said
right.
that, like, was it like 2 to 3 years?
as long as you get
stuff done.
it's 5 years. So we do 5 years between votes here, but you can get voted back in.
Yeah, and you can get voted out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You can call us. Is that we can call snap elections? We can call, the Prime Minister can call election as and when.
We do it right.
I kind of respect that, but then I get why America do it. If there's someone
their
bad,
process is so long.
yeah,
It's 2 years,
It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
and it costs them hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yeah,
Which
costs everyone so much money.
look, what I think we have limits here on what we can spend on an election, which I think is great.
Yeah.
There's limits.
However, there isn't a cost on advertising, I don't think, which I don't like.
Did you see something very interesting that The Rock said he'd run for president if that's what people want?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's
Actually,
never going to happen. And then I went, Donald Trump was president.
I actually watched
I think anything could happen now.
I actually watched a video 2 years ago. This
He speaks
life
very
coach
well.
called Jason Capital, who I used to be obsessed with, not so much anymore. But
Any
he
particular reason for not being obsessed anymore?
His life.
well, it's just all like I've watched a series called The Entrepreneur Effect, and it's just how like these life coaches like it's just rubbish what they're doing, and they're like, I'm doing a deal limited time deal only for you.
Oh, the famous ones,
and then it's like they actually do it all year long. Like they're always offering that product. But yeah, anyway, he it's funny actually because he said that literally like 2 years ago. He was like, I would not be surprised if he runs for president.
Well, he said if people want it to, then yeah.
I would like is Bob Iger, who
I don't know
who is the CEO of Disney. He did say he thought about it, but his wife was like, look, it's really not right for our family.
Yeah.
It throws everything else out the window.
I don't want to put our girls at that risk. And I thought, you know what? And
Respect.
A lot of men would have been like, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this. But he respected his wife and his family. And really decent guy. Like, this guy he's just released a book. Well, last year now. And he's a very smart CEO. But he's also a real human being. And he said, like, you've got...
it's so hard at the moment to have someone in that high of a power to be...
He was
a
like,
regular guy,
ethical as
well.
Yeah,
just like a regular guy.
I was listening to him talk, and he was like, I remember when one of his first companies that he started with, the CEO, spoke to me like a human being, and that made
even though he was at the bottom,
even though I was just a paper boy, whatever he was, that made me feel like worth something, and he's
wanted to work harder.
That's what he's always tried to then translate into his work, and I think that's so important that actually, like, one company, it's not about the guy who's at the top, it's about everyone.
Yeah.
And that's such an important
Way
trait.
to
I actually saw a
people,
clip yesterday of Jack Ma. Like, it looked like quite an old clip, but he was talking about how he puts his customers first, and then the employees seconds, and then the stakeholders third.
Yeah.
Because he said the first people, like he said, as soon as the recession happened, the first people to jump ship were the stakeholders.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, the stakeholders are only there to make money, aren't they? They're not there to do anything. They just
maybe
want
like
money.
a little bit of interest, but the
but
employees.
You don't have a business without your customers
or
your employees.
Yeah, he said the only people to stick by him were
the
employees.
You couldn't run a business without stakeholders.
Yeah,
obviously it's a lot easier. But
what's your next point, Connor?
So my next one is music festivals. So very sad announcement that music festivals
all of them
in the UK could not be happening for up to 4 years.
I think that's more of a safety net thing.
Yeah. However,
well, who knows, to be honest.
So in the UK, it's definitely not happening this year, but they have said it could be large events
Next
of
year.
over 1,000 people might not be happening for up to 4 years. Big thing. However, and in the UK, there is going to be no further support for festivals from the government. They've stated that.
How is that going to work?
No, which I think is
you're going to need to. I think they're just going to need to have like big sponsors. It's going to be like, I don't know, the Coca-Cola Ballmasters Festival, something like that would be the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, so so then, like, after kind of reading into this, I looked into so another thing came up, and it was about how the Dutch are allowing festivals from July and planning for large events from July onwards in the second half of the year.
Yeah,
and so just in case it wasn't going to happen, they've created a compensation package or a fund of 300 million. It's called the Cancellation Fund of 300 million. Now, it's not a huge amount of money, but
it's better than nothing.
There's not. It's still enough to cover those larger events.
Yeah,
and it's what it's allowing is it's allowing for these music festival companies, these event companies, to allow to at least plan for the year,
get a little
allow jobs to be happening, but then if it is to go tits up, there is still money there.
They don't take the hit.
Now, Germany also announced a similar thing back in December, They created a fund of 2.5 billion, which will allow support for events for the events industry for the entire year. Now, this is just events industry. We're not talking hospitality as a
just
whole.
Events.
This is events. Now, in the UK, yes, we are offering furlough, which is now down to 60% of your wage, isn't it? If not, it could be even less now.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not up to date with it.
I'm not up to. So don't fact check it. Look, we don't know enough about this. None of us are on furlough, so we can't tell you. But I am just speaking from what I've read.
Mm-hmm.
Germany again doing a great thing, supporting the events industry. I think personally in the UK, I don't know if we're doing enough for that side of things, or even at least giving any glimmer of hope.
Yeah, to anyone. Well, I guess maybe on Monday we'd find out more, but who knows?
It is really, really hard because especially our good friend Tom Williams, who's the rally driver we actually went to film in Monaco. His dad owns a company called Genesis, which is like this big events company management. Well, they do like all the displays in events and everything. They've now not had work for coming up a year.
Yeah.
And think about the toll that takes on a business.
And the fact that they're surviving is amazing.
Well, I mean,
they're running online events.
They're running, but still, that's
not enough.
But they're really unsure as to how long they can keep doing this.
Yeah.
I mean, like here, so my parents own a pub, and obviously every day things are changing, and they don't know when they're going to open. I mean, I saw today in the paper just before we started that there was a leaked thing of that May is probably when the pubs are opening.
April might be takeaway pints again, which is good.
I think they should still do takeaway pints. I think cutting that off is just
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I mean,
I see both sides of the coin.
Because weren't they also saying that they were going to get a minister of hospitality? Because at the moment it's joint with so pubs are put in the same category as cafes and all of these places. Because they stopped the takeaway, so you for a little while, so you couldn't get drinks like coffees and whatnot. Because and then but that also just ruined pubs.
That was more because of the queues, I think.
Yeah, but then why in a pub?
Because everyone was doing was they were going for takeaway coffee with their friends.
Everyone. So it was just a thing to.
I mean, like in Henley, so we're in Henley on Thames, and going there, you can see queues
everywhere.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying.
And especially because it's raining, people want to queue a little bit more inside, like they do at Starbucks. That's just more.
A pub like this should not be put into the same category.
And I think so. There's very different types of pubs as well. So
gastropubs.
We're a small village pub. Yeah,
locals pub.
Yeah, and we don't have a lot of people travelling from out all over the place, and we're really, really safe with the COVID precautions. We've got the traffic light system on the table, so you turn it around if it's dirt. The table.
Everyone's pretty well drilled. Yeah.
Everything's sanitized. We've got screens between tables. We've
in
got
the bar.
Screen behind the bar. We've put so much in place, but then there's the few that ruin it for everyone else that aren't putting any precautions. They're like, fuck this. We don't believe in it. And it's like, if we all just banded together for 6 months and said, look, let's just fucking all do it properly, we would have been out of this situation by now.
Yeah.
A little bit of selflessness, a little bit of selfishness, not selflessness.
And it's also a huge problem. Like in the UK, we don't have trust in our government, a huge trust in our government to get things done, and we don't put we don't allow them to make the extreme decisions. We want backwards and forwards. And look, we take 6 months to make a fucking decision. It's taken us a year to, put a quarantine hotel in place, and it's only for certain countries.
It's also on the general population as well.
Yeah.
Because. So basically, the data suggests that if we put really strict measures in first lockdown, and I'm talking a bit before, we may never have even got into this situation in the first place, because there would have
been revolt either way though.
Third lockdown.
Yeah.
Even though it's stricter, people are not following it. So it's like the longer lockdowns go on, obviously the less people are following it. So it's one of these things where you have to. I think it's proved that as soon as a virus comes out next time, I think we're going to shut down immediately.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, 100%.
I think, but like you said, no matter what response we gave, it was never going to be good enough.
Yeah.
No one's going to be happy.
Yeah. And the fact that everyone's just like, oh, yeah, New Zealand have done really well. They've done really well.
They're back in a lockdown, aren't they? Auckland?
That really annoys me, though, that argument.
Yeah.
Because I had some guy, a mate of mine, when we were allowed to go to pubs and everything, he said to me, I'm so done with this government. I'm just so done. And I was like, yeah, I get how like people are frustrated, but like, what's your reasoning for it? And he goes, New Zealand,
Perfect.
exactly the same size as England. No cases at the moment. I said, are you joking, dude?
Population sizes are completely different.
And because we've been there, you're driving for 4 hours till you
There's
get
no
to the
one.
next village.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
It's all
like-
mountains. It's just.
I don't think you can generalize any country together.
No,
I think it's
you
completely
can't.
different for every single country.
Yeah.
We are a tiny island full of
So many people.
It's horrible.
We've got
actually.
75 million people in this country that we know of. They think there could be way more because of illegal immigrants.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? The people don't think about these things, right? And like there is a lot of like there's a lot of people that like you said aren't listening and that banding to get there's this huge kind of thing of like even so we've been to a lot of building sites.
Yeah.
You get a lot of it there.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Like we're there running.
Is this whole COVID thing real?
We're there like walking around in masks, and then none of them are there. And we're just like, why are you looking at me funny?
Yeah.
I'm doing the right thing, staying away from all of you wearing a mask, and you're there just.
I can't believe there are people that still believe this is a farce.
I mean, so the amount of people like when I was still working in the pub last year and this was going on, so someone would come in and be like, "Look, sorry, we put the rule in place here long before it was you had to say you had to." wear a mask."
Yeah.
So and they're like, "Well, it's not legal. It's not." Well, I'm asking you
In my establishment,
could you please put your mask on? It's not for you. It's for the safety of everyone else.
Mm.
Well, no, it's my civil liberty to not fucking wear a mask.
Get out.
You think, well, leave them. You go, well, you can't kick me out. I said, well, I just did. So
you can legally kick someone out for.
and it's like we're trying to help you, so you don't have to be in this situation for longer. Just fucking put a
Piece
grab
of
a
cloth.
pair of balls and just fucking get on with it.
Put a
Now
piece of
is
cloth around your face for 30 seconds when you sit
And
down.
sit
at your
down.
table.
Like
That's-
you don't even have. You can walk from the door to the table and you don't have to wear it. What is wrong with that?
Yeah.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting annoyed.
No. I think we're all the
it's
same.
just so frustrating.
Because it's the time where it's just like everybody should be together. Everybody should be working together to solve this issue.
Do you know what I miss? Last year, when this all kind of started,
People.
I've really felt for the first time in a very long time this country was actually together.
Yeah.
Yes.
First lockdown at the start, everyone was like, "Yeah, cool. Let's just."
Why are we? Why could we not carry that on?
I remember on like every Thursday going outside clapping. That's
Yeah.
the only time you'd see people.
Yeah, they're just like, hello over there.
I was no. Did you clap for Captain Tom the other week?
No, I didn't. No.
No.
I
know.
No, boys, I'm disappointed.
I know.
We
I
were
know.
the only ones here in our village to do it.
Well-
but it's not taken away
But
from.
Also,
the
at
respect.
Charlotte's, we
Oh,
go
yeah, you've
outside,
got
we clap, and then
There's no one there.
yeah.
I mean, I was there watching the news.
You should have been.
We
We
were-
were in the middle of a.
No one was there. No one was clapping. But it didn't take away from the respect I have
Right.
for the
Yeah.
man. Like, it's this like don't want to go back to the.
I love the idea of him living his best like year. Like
Yeah.
that guy had such
Such
a
a
good
good
end to
year,
his
yeah.
life.
Yeah,
Mm.
I think.
And it was heartbreaking that he died of COVID
Yeah.
2 days before the vaccine was
But
available
his
to him.
family said that like they were so happy with.
Mm.
Do you see his?
How he was so happy.
Yeah, and he knew that his time was,
But he was
sort of up.
the guy was
Like-
100.
Exactly.
I think you've
yeah.
got to think at 100. Like people.
He got
Did
to
you
know-
see his
He got knighted by the Queen.
Do you see his daughter got absolutely attacked?
Really?
Like, she goes, "It's your fault that he's dead. You shouldn't have been around him. You're
Who?
completely irresponsible."
Who?
People just attacking her on Facebook and Twitter, and you
Oh
think,
my
do you know
God.
what? Like the guy was 100 years of age. He did this amazing thing.
He was
Probably
he
wanted
was a
to be with
veteran.
his
He was a
daughter.
He's a-
veteran.
he's a
Like
World
he'd
War
done
II
so
veteran.
much in his life.
Like, come on, like give the guy a break. He was
Said
probably
the
going
same
to die.
thing to the Queen as well
Yeah.
for knighting him. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you got too close to him.
No.
But anyway, we got points to go to.
No, I think Is that you done?
I'm pretty much
Are you done?
That was
Are you
good,
done?
Connor.
Thank you, boys.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
you did
I mean, it was
very
a good
well.
chat.
It was a very good chat. Very, very.
We got a bit heated about at the end about COVID, but that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's half.
Well, I think everybody's in the same. Well, not everyone.
I think we're frustrated. I think in the UK, I think we are frustrated now. I think the government is responding great at the minute.
Yeah.
So, what do you
Go
know?
on.
What do you know about Wrexham Afc?
Nothing.
At all.
Nothing.
Never even heard of them.
Playing the 5th tier of
The National League?
National League. In the National League.
South or North?
Wrexham's in Wales.
Okay.
So they play in the English National League, which is the 5th tier. And they are now owned by Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney from It's Only Sunny in Philadelphia. And obviously Ryan Reynolds from Deadpool.
Yeah.
They both split own Wrexham AFC now.
Nice.
And they bought it for £2 million end of last year.
Wow.
And so they play in the English Football League, but are in Wales.
Yeah.
So I think they did come under the furlough scheme.
Yeah.
But the staff still had to take pay cuts.
Yeah.
To keep the club afloat.
Hmm.
But now that they've come in, they're both reimbursing all of the money and giving all of the employees all the money that they are owed and setting all of the wrongs right.
So this is a charity case. That's awesome.
No, they bought the team because it was all on Twitter. It started on Twitter.
That's amazing.
And now they own it, and now they've set all the rights, all the wrongs right.
Well done.
I love that.
I mean, look at Arsenal could take a note from their page.
Yeah.
Arsenal taking a huge government loan.
Yeah.
To just keep the club afloat.
Yeah. But so, boys, let's watch Deadpool tonight. So we are helping Wrexham
Ryan
out.
Reynolds.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds, I think, is great. He does a lot of charity work. He does a lot of work for Make-A-Wish.
I'd like to meet him.
He seems like a great guy. And I love Deadpool.
Yeah.
It's a great film.
Also, his wife, Blake Lively.
Lively.
Yeah.
Very fit.
Oh. Yeah. Really like it that. But,
yeah,
so the other guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia,
Yeah.
which one is he?
Rob, I don't know who he is.
Is he the main one?
I don't know. I just know he's probably. I don't know. He's just
I think
in
he's
it.
also a New Girl, I'm pretty sure.
I didn't know him, to be honest. But I knew
Because I love
Ryan
this.
Reynolds, and I follow him on Twitter, and it's been massive on Twitter for the last couple of months.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is awesome.
That's I like that. I really like that.
Yeah, and
That's a good.
They're going up.
Yeah,
they're going up to the Prem. They're just
Okay, yeah, it was the guy I was thinking. The guy that plays Mac.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, different guy. I was thinking.
No, this guy's great. This guy's actually the writer of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
So I might have to cop a Wrexham shirt.
Nice.
Wrexham now
for support.
my second team. Yeah, maybe.
Wrexham. I thought Brentford.
Brentford are my official second team, but Wrexham are my.
Can you get a custom name on the back? Do you reckon?
Probably, yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Get Pala Media House shirts.
We
Pala Media House
could
on the back.
tweet them and be like, supporting the cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want to. They're a football club, not a charity.
But
I
I like that.
I like that. Yeah.
I would love to give money to every lower league football club that had their season cancelled.
And
last
they
year.
paid cuts.
Same for I'd love to do it for the rugby teams as well.
100, yeah,
In fact, they
100%.
took the pay cuts.
Hugely, and I think
Yeah.
there is a lot of lower league teams here where a lot of people do work for the teams, and that's their income.
And then
they're losing it. You know, a lot of clubs are shutting down. I mean, who was it? Was it Wigan that went bust or no? Blackburn? No, not Blackburn.
Burton, no. Burton?
Bolton.
No.
Bolton did go bust,
But they got
came
bought out.
back, yeah.
A lot of people are. Wigan went into administration.
Wigan.
Now have been bought, but still got the points deduction.
Yeah.
Same with Sheffield Wednesday as well. They had the point
quite
reduction.
a few of those. I mean, the problem is with these bigger teams, so these Championship, League One Championship,
Yeah.
like Prem teams, they've got such high overheads. They've got so much money coming going out.
It's probably
week.
worse for the bigger teams.
Yeah.
Within reason.
Yeah.
Because they've got so many overheads and they're not getting the
They're
game
not getting-
receipts. They're getting TV deals now, but they weren't for a couple of months.
But they had to give a load of those clubs had to give back their TV rights deals at the end of last
exactly, and
season.
sponsorship deals and stuff like that because they weren't playing the games.
Yeah.
When then people, I think it was under League 2, so all the national leagues, their season just got cancelled, and it got written off like nothing had happened.
That's
So
rough.
So they were voting, weren't they voting recently if they were to cancel the lower leagues? I mean, they had to. It has to be a majority between all of the clubs.
Yeah, because last time it was just done by the top dogs of the league.
So now it's gone down to do the club. A lot of the clubs who can afford it have decided not to.
But like the teams, there was a team, I don't know if you heard #United
YouTube
team that compete in the National League.
Well, they
South.
were a YouTube team, and now they're an actual club.
They're in the football league now.
Yeah.
And their season got cancelled. I think they were something like 12 points clear with like 7 to 10 games to go. It's just like you're cancelling the season. Like they're pretty much. And then there was also a team that was like 15 points adrift at the bottom of the table, weren't mathematically relegated, but were pretty much going to get relegated. And then the season was cancelled, so nothing, and it was just the season just doesn't exist anymore. That whole season just doesn't exist. Just been written off.
Yes. I mean, like, so a lot of those teams, because they were saying if they weren't going to finish it last year, they weren't going to have relegation, were they? They were just going to keep what was there. And then they were going to say, like, well, keep whoever's up. Whoever didn't get relegated, they were going to stay up, and then whoever won it, they were going to come up.
Exactly, but then
which made no sense.
Which is going to ruin the whole.
This might affect like the next generation of footballers as well, because the people that were working their way up are probably now going to have to look for an actual
job. Do you know what I was thinking about in that regard? Was athletics. So athletics is like, and the Olympics and those things. I don't.
It's all sponsorship, isn't it?
Yeah, and like rowing. Like rowing is a huge sponsorship led. If you can't go out and perform to try and because so all the Olympic rowers, right? They all row at Leander now, or Molesley, which are the two. They're the two big rowing clubs. 90% of those athletes are all self-sponsored. So by self-sponsored means they go out and find their sponsorships for them, and that's how they make their money.
That must be so tough.
Some of them even have jobs, like
to fund,
and they're professional athletes, right? Yet they're still having to fund themselves.
It's really tough.
So
you basically got to win a medal at the Olympics to get sponsors to pay for you to keep going. Like
Leander's one of the clubs that pay them. Well, don't pay. They pay for their training and this and nutrition, and so they help. But
you can't do all of it.
You can't live. I mean, especially like in Henley, you can't live in Henley off of that.
Yeah, exactly. You got to yeah. And you've got to be driving far because if you're not living in Henley.
Yeah. So I mean, look, it's looking like the Olympics is going to be cancelled this year.
I'm gutted.
Yeah, I do like the Olympics.
I love the Olympics. The Olympics is. I think it's great. If it was on, we're going to have to get a TV in the office and have it on.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Because it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to have to get a TV for the office anyway, aren't we? I think.
Yeah. Well, the Euros this summer.
Stick the football. Stick football on while working and everything.
Well, World Cup's next year, isn't it?
Yeah, World Cup's next year. Euros is this year.
Euros this year, World Cup next year. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's good. However...
Mate, inject that into my veins.
No pubs. Imagine there's no pubs.
There will be. Has to be. Has to be.
Yeah.
Do you remember that last World Cup?
Oh my God.
Do you remember that last game at Alex's?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
Oh mate, so good.
So good.
That was the year I left school.
Even though they lost.
That was the year I left school as well. Oh my God.
Yeah, crazy. What's your next point?
What's my next point?
Yeah.
My interest in VHS cameras and camcorders at the moment has just gone
huge
up
market.
like that. Just been looking into whether I want to get a Super 8 or a High 8 camera, depending if I want real film or if I want VHS tapes.
Bold move on the Super 8.
I think I'm gonna go High 8 instead of Super 8 because Super 8 just seems a bit more, even though it's not even that difficult in a camcorder, but the VHS just seems easier to digitize and doesn't take away.
I'm gonna be like our audience here. Could you tell me what
Super 8 is like? Film reel, like you get in a film camera, and VHS is obviously like
a tape,
a cassette.
Okay.
Now I've got an interesting point for you on the Super 8. Kodak actually released a camera, the Super 8 camera.
Yeah, and they've also released it's called like day neutralized film, where you can change it in daylight and it doesn't.
Rather
than the dark room.
Well, also like before your film was done on sensitivity. So if you have a high sensitive film and you go outside and it's really bright, it's gonna burn you. It's gonna pretty much burn your film.
Yeah, it's just gonna be white.
It's gonna be white and blow out, and it can ruin the film because
there's film for day, like inside, outside.
It's like so. Back when we
have it so easy now. We have it so easy.
Back when we had like film, so a film like when a film started originally happening, and it was color film. Black people didn't look right because film was literally designed for white skin. Yeah. And so
I'll learn about this.
And so over time it developed, obviously. Whereas now we've got about I think 2013, 2012, the Kodak factory in New York was going bust, and loads of filmmakers came together to buy it, so it's now running, and they've developed the laboratories there. So now they're modernising the film. So like you say, so there's now daylight sensitive films, and it's better for colour, like better, true, more accurate on skin colour now.
Yeah,
and
most like regular ain't any colours. Yeah,
it's come on. It's the same with Polaroid. Similar thing happened with Polaroid.
They went through a massive restructure about how to.
So Polaroid film is now no longer made by Polaroid.
Yeah.
Polaroid as a brand is now more of a technology company than a camera company. They still do make the cameras, but they usually they've got
that's like a little subsection.
They've got Instax, which is by Fujifilm, which is a Polaroid, but it's licensed. The Polaroid name is licensed. The product is made by Fuji. The film is made by I think it's Impossible.
Yeah, I think it
Impossible was bought by loads of photographers and filmmakers, and they bought the factory off Polaroid that make the things, make the film, but it's now they've developed it under licensing. It's all a bit confusing.
Yeah,
that is really interesting though.
So
I don't know any of that.
I'm just really into because I like the VHS the old style, but I feel like doing it with a filter or a color grade is just not authentic, and you don't get the real nostalgic feel.
Well, the whole point of using film is for the color.
Yeah, 100%.
So for the effect. Yeah.
And you can get that on LUTs and overlays and stuff, and it just doesn't feel right.
That's not authentic.
Yeah, like my goal for the summer is to get a VHS camera and make a video for the whole summer. And I want it to feel like I was in.
Because would it have the crackles?
Did like
yeah.
Did like
your
I love
2020
that post the other day.
Cheers, mate. That's when it started.
What'd you make that on? Final Cut?
Yeah, just made it on Final Cut. It was pretty easy.
I like that.
Yeah, cool. I just want to do more stuff like that because that's sort of my style rather than.
Yeah.
I think it's like this is kind of like go back to our secret project that we're not going to announce yet.
Yeah.
But like being more creative, trying different creative things.
Like I want to be able to do that because then maybe I might learn something
that you can then evolve into. What people? So myself and Brad and I, technically, my mum will kill me if I,
I get that as well. Yeah.
So Brad and I started together making films and photographing as fun, as a hobby. We now do it as a job, which means we don't do it as a hobby anymore.
But now I want to get back into it as a hobby.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm buying my disposable cameras and just running around with
what you lose when you don't do it as a hobby, you lose that real creative element.
No, I get that.
So we're trying to bring it back.
Because I had a lot of people ask me why I didn't choose to become a guitarist, and it's because it's like
it's your hobby.
I didn't want to lose the love for it, and I've actually kind of fallen out of love with. I barely play anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing. Do you have your guitar at Charlotte's?
Yeah, well, just my acoustic.
But like you,
just start jamming.
Quinn, you were witness to me falling out of love with photography.
Yeah,
like when we went traveling for the first month, maybe month and a half, I didn't touch the camera.
Yeah,
really. Yeah, didn't touch it.
Sometimes you gotta go back to it when you gotta want it. Yeah, you gotta want to do it.
That's exactly what I thought.
Well, it came out of school. Like when we come out of school, like obviously you know how intense it is, and then like I went straight into photography work from then the very next day I finished school. I had a photo shoot. Like I didn't even have a 12-hour period in between finishing my A-level and starting professional work.
Yeah.
And like I did that for like till September, and I was just burnt out.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I get that.
You get it.
Easily.
100%. I didn't want to be sat there, practicing for 6 hours a day to get like a degree in it. Whereas like you were editing photos for like fucking I don't know how long.
Mate,
ages.
It's just like,
and then when it's every day, I get it.
You do, but you do.
I get it,
and I think like even now, I get it here with some of the more mundane work that we do. But that's why we then do the fun projects.
Yeah.
Well, mine sort of stems from memories more than wanting to shoot. But it's sort of like I'd say it's like 60-40. 60 memories, 40. I want to get creative again.
But also,
because I want to have something that I can also on a cassette, but also digitize it as well, because you can keep both. And I found ways that you can easily digitize it pretty quickly. Yeah,
I think for you both, it's just like the work we're doing, the work we've been doing, especially through this third lockdown. Like you guys, it's very repetitive on your parts. You're editing multiple things.
It's definitely fun
over and over again. You've probably lost
exactly, because obviously I think our dream would just be to be
adventure photographers,
just for ourselves. And just get paid to do that.
But I think you guys have probably fallen out of touch in what it feels like to learn something new and then see it. That is the best bit about learning a new guitar piece. It's like being there, like shit. I couldn't play that before.
Yeah,
now
100%,
I can do it.
100%.
And you know what? I see loads of young people on Instagram doing photography, and I'm like, you guys are lucky.
I love that feeling.
You're lucky that you just get to go out and take photos. And then like The problem is they then think they're photographers, and then they get into the professional world,
and it's just not
it's
that.
a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
Like, and that I think I've seen too many people
Because you're photographing for someone else.
You
not
can't do it
yourself.
as and when you like.
Yeah.
Either. It's like you've got a fucking deadline.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, for me, like I struggled with it to start with. Was like actually like
I'm not shooting with myself anymore.
I like this style. The client doesn't. But I was thinking, no, they're the one that's wrong.
Yeah.
But actually, no,
You learn.
I was the one that was wrong, because actually you're producing the work for someone else, not for you. So you've got to produce their vision.
But then again, that's good with doing photography outside of work, because you still get to feel that you get to what's the word?
Well, you have a vision. You get to
still produce
the
something that you want to do alongside doing something for someone else.
Right.
The thing that really helped me actually was the drone. The drone kind of
started something,
because the drone, like I often, like on the weekend, I'll take the drone and I'll film stuff. I won't do anything with it, but I just quite enjoy it, because the drone is not like I can take pictures and can film, but it's just like this. Really, I don't know. It's just fun, isn't it?
There's just something cool about it. It's a toy
always
as well.
have to do something with your pictures or your videos that you
I
make.
know.
It can just be just getting out there, just
Do you know what
I've feeling the urge.
I've set a target for this lockdown, and I'm actually going to be doing it tonight. And so I'm going back through my old photos, and I'm saving them from like when I was like 15, 16, and I'm getting them printed off.
Yeah,
because they're all on my phone, but actually I've realised you don't look at them.
I don't want them on my phone.
I don't want them on my phone
wall.
anymore. I want them. No, I'm going to put them book.
Yeah, book.
Yeah.
And then when you're older and you have children and stuff, you're showing them. You'll probably be like, "Oh my god, I forgot about that."
I was thinking like
I might do that as well.
This was like I was looking back on festivals, thinking about festivals, and I'm like, I've been to so many cool festivals.
I don't look at the pictures,
and I don't look at them, and I think that I have some amazing memories, and I want to be able to
remember them for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I want my kid. I want to be like, oh, I saw this band, and I saw this band, and you've got to. I remember because my mum was she used to love music festivals. And she'd tell me like, oh yeah, I've seen this live, and she never showed me any pictures. So now it just makes me want to show when I eventually do have kids, be able to show them pictures.
Yeah, definitely. That's the goal. Yeah, like I want to have videos that I can look back at and go, God, when I was 21 in the summer, we were in a pandemic, but I still managed to be outside and have a great time.
Yeah, there's like a trend on TikTok. It's like show your parents when you're growing up.
Yeah,
and I saw this, and it was like loads of cool pictures from like the 90s, and I was like, yeah, that's.
I think I was destined for the 90s.
I think I was destined for the 70s, 80s,
60s for me, 50s, 60s.
Yeah, that was a cool time. For some.
Yeah.
there was some that,
next topic.
Great segue, actually, with the 90s. The new Biggie Smalls documentary that's coming out on Netflix.
So, Quinn, who's Biggie Smalls?
He's, I mean, if you don't know who he is, you're living under a rock.
That's exactly the words that we said to Quinn last night when we mentioned that the documentary was coming out.
Yeah, he's a hip-hop rapper.
Yeah, we could say
hip-hop rapper.
He was
Mom.
He was a generational talent that changed the game in the 90s.
Yeah. Hero, legend,
so
infamous.
I like the name.
Biggie Smalls.
Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah, well, to all of you out there, like, I'm very musical, but I'm also I'm very not with certain genres.
I mean, that's
not that I dislike it. I just don't listen.
I feel like we're very.
We like everything.
Yeah, there's not a lot of.
There's not a lot of stuff that we don't. I mean,
I'm quite rigid and set in my ways.
My only one that I fucking hate: mumble rappers.
My hate is screaming rock.
Screaming rock.
Yeah,
you like metal,
like heavy metal.
Are you talking like? Because there's metal and there's rock,
when it's
heavy rock.
Yeah.
Very
probably metal.
Heavy rock is like Ozzy Osbourne.
No, that's fine.
And then you get like
I can appreciate
metal,
that.
which is like Metallica.
Yeah.
No, not Metallica. I'm gonna go
like
Slipknot.
Yeah, like
I'm not the biggest
screaming, not words, just loud, screechy noises.
Mine is jazz.
How?
I don't hate jazz.
How?
It's so pretentious. Because I went to this one. I went
you
to
just
this
don't
one.
like black music, do you?
No.
No, not at all.
No, that was.
So I went to this gig in Leeds with my girlfriend and her house.
Didn't you leave this gig like?
Yeah. So, but I was told that they were there. Like, there's this like honestly world renowned like jazz drummer. He's incredible. We're all going to see him. And I was like, yeah, I'll come. And my girlfriend was like, Quinn, like,
you're gonna hate this.
You're gonna hate it. And I said, no, I'm in the mood. Like, I've got a few drinks in me. Like, let's go. I stood there. It was a guitarist, a bassist, and a drummer. I swear to God, it sounded like all three were soloing for an hour straight, like at the same time. I was there. I was like, this is just a racket. You got a drummer going, and then you got a bassist going.
I feel like this is what we're like when we see photos.
Yeah. That's what how I imagine it. Because like. So I relate it back to like when I was in Australia with Quinn, we'll be listening to something. God, this is shit. Oh God, he should have done that. Because you look at it from a musical, technical point of view, not from enjoying
just
music.
Art. Yeah.
Where it's the same for us. Like I'll be watching myself in India. We'll be watching. I'll go, oh God, that was a sick shot, or I wouldn't have done that shot. And she's like, and then I'm like, oh, that's used with a crane, or they, and then she's like, can we not just watch?
I'm quite good at keeping that in now, because there was a time where I was just like, I just appreciate the good stuff, and if it's bad, I'm like.
Thing is, I want to talk to someone about it.
Message,
but
it's Wednesday. You completely forgot.
But it's the
hang on 2 seconds.
But I just find
I can't use my phone. Here, can I use your phone?
We'll just pause.
It's just no, we can continue. But
the
thing about music is. The thing about jazz is, like, I like nice chords and everything, and then they're just like, let's chuck a note that's not in key. Like, let's just put a note that should never be there.
I'm sure there's a reason for it.
But also, I was at this gig, and then this guy would play a note that, to my ear, just sounds completely wrong.
Yeah.
And people would be there like, gee, yeah, we love that. And I was there, I was thinking, you guys are just pretentious. Like, you don't understand music, and you're just there, like, thinking that stuff that sounds horrible sounds good. And then so we left the gig at the interval, and then some of Charlotte's flatmates, one of them said to me, it's like, I get it, if you're not very musical you probably don't really understand it. I was there thinking, you better shut your fucking mouth.
That's my point about the Biggie Smalls documentary. I'll run you off a couple facts.
So it's coming out on March 1st for anyone who didn't know.
Yeah, so the first trailer released on Monday the 15th, a couple of days ago now. Executive produced by Diddy.
I know, pretty sure Diddy owns his estate.
Yeah, I think he owns some of the rights to the music as well.
I think he owns all of the rights.
He owns all of the rights.
I'm pretty sure he owns all of the rights.
Jesus Christ.
No, I know his mum is in charge of what's called the estate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure Diddy was his manager.
Yeah.
Diddy
helped his launch.
Yeah.
Launched his career in the early 90s. It's gonna be backstage clips, behind the scenes, sort of him on the street before, his explanation about why he did some of the things he did to get money to be, and why he wanted to be a rapper, because he wanted to help get all of his friends out of the hood, because he was thinking that
get them off the streets.
It wasn't right for them, and they were all destined for more. So he wanted to be a rapper to get money, to bring all of his friends and his family away from
a life of crime.
Brooklyn,
yeah, life of crime, drugs.
Yeah, he went to private school.
Yeah, he went to private school.
Biggie Smalls?
Yeah.
He lived in a gated community as well.
His dad was a well-known jazz artist in Brooklyn in New York.
And his mum was something... She was either like a lawyer or something.
Yeah,
so something like that.
His dad, from the age of like 6, wanted Biggie to be a jazz musician and was helping him write music at 8, I think. And he was writing his own raps at 12. So he was trying to make him a jazz artist, which is why in a lot of Biggie's music, there's a lot of undertones of jazz and a lot of rhythmic music rather than the stereotypical rap sort of beats and stuff like that.
But he drew inspiration from a lot of things, from not only from like the streets,
because he was brought into a world of music.
Well, his mother was Jamaican, and he spent the summers there.
Yeah,
and so
both his parents were from Jamaica.
So there was a lot of Jamaican influence from there.
And he was because they sent him away to every summer, or a couple summers sent him to Jamaica to learn from his other family and
he learned from his ancestors and learned, took
musical family.
Yeah,
very musical family.
But music is in Jamaica is very orientated in day-to-day life and
religion.
And also he drew a lot of his mother's very religious and drew a lot of inspiration from kind of gospel music.
Yeah, definitely soul music.
Very cool.
Yeah,
don't know about you, but I love a bit of gospel music. I don't really like the music, but I love seeing them do it.
It's just energy. It's gospel music is all about energy coming together.
Good vibes.
Do you know what?
vibes, like
We do church so fucking wrong.
mm,
Why do we have to make it this like way to kill it? Right?
mm,
The church was a huge thing, right?
mm-hmm.
So much influence. Yet you made it so fucking boring.
Yeah, they didn't.
Of
Yeah.
course, you're going to push people away.
I mean, modernise it a bit.
Like, why do you think these gospel churches
Are so
are
popular.
so popular? And they do.
They drag in
they-
communities and
in even
towns.
young people, they
Mm.
they actually draw in a lot of young people. It's because it's enjoyable, because it's energy.
It's supposed to be about community and people
Yeah.
and having fun and
They got it
experiencing.
so right.
Rather than this serious, like,
You've got to
don't disrespect God.
because but they do hark on those points. But
Yeah.
it's got connotations of fun and it being beneficial and like.
I mean, a true believer, I'm going to say, would probably disagree with us.
100%, and I
Fair
understand that.
enough. I mean, my family, not my parents personally, but the rest of my family, are very heavily religious.
Mm-hmm.
Personally,
Catholic,
very very strong
Yeah.
Irish family, very
Yeah.
Catholic. My girlfriend's family, very
Very
strong
yeah.
Catholics. Me, not so much. Kind of got misled along the way somewhere.
Yeah, a lot of people might not like this, but when I was, because I went to a Church of England school when I was
So
younger,
did
and
I.
I went back
So
home
did
one
I.
day and I was like, I'm thinking about, like, becoming a Christian, Mum, and she was like, nah.
I think there's a lot.
If you want to do that, it's
I
completely.
think there's a lot of good about the church,
it teaches you a lot of morals.
but there's a lot of bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you got any?
Those are my points, I think.
All right, now onto my points. People may find these these boring, but these are from the Financial Times, and I think they're good
Ooh,
points
yes.
because they're also very
Ooh,
they're
yes.
very what's going on right now. So it might be a little news round for the audience as well.
Yeah.
Hello, you're tuning into News Round by Polar Media House.
My name is Quinn, and I am. No, I'm joking.
So
Right.
what's
And now we'll head to
happening in
Connor for the
financial
weather.
World?
No one's got any money.
So I'm going to start off by talking about China, and they're thinking about limiting their exports of rare materials.
Interesting.
So
What kind of rare materials you talk
this
about?
these are like the component part,
Like
things that
technology.
you make. Yeah,
Are we
things,
talking
components of technology and everything, which
Like
is
selling like computers.
which
to
is
other
really bad
companies.
for like America being what do you call it?
So dependent on.
Well, what they make the things out of these compound
Imports,
elements. So
Now, hang on. Are they talking about exporting them before they've been made into
Manufactured,
something,
yeah.
or are they talking about?
yeah,
them
just the
on-
materials themselves.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Maybe not so bad for America because they already pretty much manufacture everything in China.
But the thing is that this will stop their exports for like computer chips as well, because
Really?
it will all tie into that. So it's like, so they're talking about how
problem.
America's military as well. They're so reliant on it, and it's been an issue for a long time that they've been trying to sort out. That they need so it's like the F-22 fighter jets. They're not going to be able to make those anymore. Like if this happens and all of that stuff. So it's basically that. My point with this is the fact that I kind of feel like the UK and America recently has been quite reactionary in their policies, where it's been like something happens and then they change it for that specific thing.
Would make
Whereas
sense.
China have been, I feel like they've had a lot of foresight for the last 10-15 years, and
Yeah.
they've like
Somehow they've always got.
they've been one step ahead because they are 80% of the world's rare materials,
That is crazy.
but they only have 30% of the world's rare materials.
They've got so much control, so they're using like
Monopoly, isn't it?
Well, no. So they're using the theory of building infrastructure in other countries to gain control.
Yeah,
So smaller countries.
you look at Africa.
So small.
because they're giving him a lot of money
So
to.
smaller countries
Yeah, I
that
heard about
don't have the money to build these infrastructure projects like big roads, bridges.
Schools.
Well, you see it in
School,
Kenya,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
the railway between Nairobi and Mombasa. Like it's
Well, they're
literally
trying to recreate the Silk Road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've literally now pretty much built it.
Yeah.
So there will be a direct road
But yeah, so they give it.
you'll be able to drive from the UK to China eventually.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
That's what's going to happen.
But yeah,
I did hear about that. Yeah,
following
that's
on
crazy
from this. So yeah, they only have 30% of the world's supply of these rare materials, but they own 80%. Well, they dominate 80% of the market.
That's mental.
But the reason they've done that is because there's so much state backing from China that they've been able to, reduce the price, which has given them this monopoly effect. And
also,
America has put very little in, like,
they've
to
got
invest
so
into
little hoops to jump through in China compared to like in America. There's so much bureaucracy in America. It makes it very hard to get shit done. They can get shit done
weeks,
very quick. Like, okay, look at the COVID hospital they built in 30 days last year. They built a full giant hospital, bigger than any hospital we have in the UK.
Yeah,
and they built it in 30 days.
Yeah, and the other issue is that their infrastructure themselves is great. So all the surrounding countries around China that have these rare materials have to send all of their materials to China to get them refined and everything.
Yeah.
And
they give anything back to those countries?
Well, yes, but obviously they make. I mean, they're the ones that will make the profit out of it.
South Korea is so reliant on China now.
Really?
North Korea is so reliant on China. Like, all of those.
Japan. 100%. They
have so much dominance.
But this causes huge issues for America. Because they can, change legislation, like industry legislation rules and such. However, they're going to have to drastically change it, which is like going to take so much time. It's not going to be easy for them. But yeah, so China really are, I'd say, their foresight into, like, they take the hits early on so they can dominate these markets.
But China have been trying to grow, because in 2000, their economy was at like 1.9 billion something. America was 3 times ahead of them, and now they're becoming 3 times ahead of America in less than 20
Do you think they
years.
had like a very regimented game plan?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, so
starting like in like
but
the late 90s.
Tensions are really increasing between China and America.
Because they're just getting more power and more money and more capability, I guess, that America are like, how are we going to stop this?
Well, no, it was when Mao died. Mao died. Yeah, he died in the late 70s or early 80s, something like that. And then they went from being a totalitarian communist country to being a socialist.
So is China good?
No.
But this is the whole thing. This is why Trump was like really, really big on reducing trade with China and everything. Is because China have been like they're very
human rights record
shady.
Awful.
Yeah.
They are
no
very
doubt.
Business practice shady. Like if you have a look at the richest man in China. He's disappeared because he disagreed with the government.
The guy that created Alibaba.
He spoke out against
the regime.
What's the capital? Beijing. He spoke about and then because obviously and then there's growing tensions because
Xi Jinping, which is the leader, he's now a lifetime leader. So he will be the leader until he dies. So originally it's a 10-year thing in China. You vote, and the votes happen every 10 years, but only happen within the party, the one party.
Yeah.
There's no opposition.
So it's the same guy.
No,
it's the same party. Just
there is opposition.
recycling.
I remember hearing like there are other parties, but they're not allowed to do anything.
That party have not allowed.
And so Xi Jinping has now been voted as the lifetime leader. But
yeah. Right, on to my next point.
Interesting.
Either of you guys know what a SPAC is?
SPAC.
I mean, I know probably the slang word for a SPAC.
No.
Not that.
Would you like to elaborate, Russ?
Nope.
So SPACs in the financial industry, it's
space, points, and
go on.
No, so I learned about it today. It's called Special Purpose Acquisition Companies. That's what it stands for.
It's a C,
Did they just acquire? I'm guessing they acquire other companies to build their companies.
Special. Say that again. One more time.
Damn, Connor, you are actually say
that again.
Special Purpose Acquisition Companies. So they are.
Yeah, you buy a company.
You are almost. You're almost bang on the head with that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Google did it for a long time. Apple do it.
They buy.
Or an acquisition.
Siri.
Like Siri, Mac.
Touch ID.
I think the difference with these ones is that these are put on the stock market.
Yeah.
Shares are sold, but with their single purpose is that they don't have a purpose apart from one
being bought,
which is to seek investment so they can buy other companies.
That makes sense.
So it's just like a place where a group of investors can put a load of money in and then own a different and then own a big company. I don't actually have any.
What they don't
because we don't actually
hear of them.
Well, not here in London. I was going to get onto this.
Go on.
A lot of the time, those companies they'll have like a 5-year plan. These guys will build up these companies to such a point and then just sell it for money. They don't really want to. They don't want to turn a profit.
They just want to sell it.
They just keep it ticking over.
Yeah. So, and the issue the issue at the moment, obviously, it's not actually a Brexit thing, but
is it
that it's all focused in Amsterdam now. So it's kind of a reoccurring theme at the moment. Is that
what's happening over there? Isn't it?
That everything Amsterdam is going to become like the hub. Like Connor was saying, though, this may only be temporary, and then in the next 5 years, things will probably go back to London.
I mean, what the bad thing is for us is how Kamala Harris is now wanting to strengthen ties with France rather than the UK, because the French will have more influence in Europe than we do now. We don't have any influence anymore. We've taken that away.
Yeah,
France
have
the most
leverage. We can, because we have control of our supplies and all of that.
Why she got to do that? We've been like the US and the UK have been partners for so long.
Have you seen Biden is no longer handling international relations?
She's doing it all. She's going to become president in 3 years.
This
100%.
was called that Biden. She probably has
I'd
more.
Say 2, but 3 definitely.
She probably has more control than Biden.
You see Sleepy Joe, now one of the only presidents ever to not do live addresses. He's not doing live addresses to the nation; they're all pre-recorded.
See, it's ridiculous. Like
because he can't say a word properly.
I think it's a bit.
Did you see the one on the weekend? Like 5-6 times he slipped up. And it was bad. So what they're going to do? They're not going to allow him to do too many live addresses.
But this is the whole thing in the run of the election. Obviously, I don't think Trump should have got it, but I really, really don't think Biden should have got it. He's not the man to run the country. This may be
4 years
controversial.
earlier, maybe.
4 years ago, maybe.
Earlier, I would have said yes. But
it was all controlled by the media. If you look at actually what he was talking about, he was actually terrible as a candidate.
But this is the problem. America, it's a popularity contest.
Yeah.
It's not an election.
But anyway, to take it back to these SPACs. The purpose for them going to Amsterdam is because in England, this is seen as a reverse takeover of a company, which means that your shares can be put on hold. So if you put your money into one of these SPACs and they're buying a company and you don't agree with it or something like that, in Amsterdam you can just pull your money out and you can get out
scot-free.
Yeah, we have like a time limit here. I think it could nearly be 2 years, can't it? That you have to keep your shares in the company.
Shares will be stuck.
Yeah.
So then,
but that's also to protect.
The company,
to protect the company and to protect the price, the share price of the company, which is
sense.
fair enough. It's secure jobs, because in the UK we have quite strict financial laws now, because there was a lot of bad shit happening back in the 80s, which had to be flushed out.
Yeah.
Still not great. We're still very bad. We're still like almost as bad as the US with our financial laws. However, they're getting a lot more restricted.
Yeah. Yeah, but Amsterdam seems to be popping off at the moment. Really,
the Dutch
really
seem to be. They're doing something right.
Yeah.
What's happened with the banning the tourist thing?
I love the Dutch as well. They are the nicest. Yeah, probably the nicest country.
One of my mates' parents,
mum's
is Dutch. She's a really nice lady.
I think the only problem which the Dutch will run into is the European Union. Like they will control them a lot of the time, and I reckon there will be some backlash from Europe eventually if there's so much further financial investment.
See, I'm a big believer in the fact that, because obviously globalization was happening like ever since World War II pretty much, and I would actually say we're going in. I'd say it's a cyclical.
I think we're going into the second phase.
I'd say it's cyclical. Yeah. I'd say, like, I think in history things are going to be globalization and then
Well, it was like it was like industrialization.
Well, then back to.
I think there's going to be. I think
up
there's
and down.
Probably it's going to go up and down until it finds its equilibrium.
Well,
but that's going to be.
Okay, so look,
who knows when that's going to be?
Look at like end of the Victorian era. You're having industrialization, and then by the 20s you had the huge crash. Yeah. Right, you had the 30s awful, the 20s and 30s awful.
What was the
war
Victorian?
in the 40s.
What was the actual time for the Victorian era?
ended in the 1901, 19 something.
Yeah.
That's the Victoria. So the way we do errors in the UK is all based
on
we're
Queen,
in the second Elizabethan
era
right now. So we're coming to the end of the second Elizabethan era, right? We're going to be going to the Charles era.
But won't that be really short?
See,
I'm not.
Do it all based on our king, but that's how it goes.
I was talking to someone the other day, and I was like, like through all time, there's always been like great parts, and I made a comment saying, I just don't think we're special at the moment. And then it was actually my girlfriend's dad, really smart guy. He said to me, he was like, "Are you kidding, Clint?" It's like, we are living through the very beginning of the internet. He was like,
"Oh yeah,
this is one of the hugest things that will ever go down in history."
Yeah, 100%.
Although we're 20 years into the internet era, it's still so young.
It's a baby.
It's not come to its pinnacle yet. So that
Well, I don't think we'll live to see that.
I think we will.
I think
we'll see the peak. I think the peak's probably
100 years maybe. Yeah.
So if you look at like what happened after the 50s, so you had the financial boom in the 80s, and then you had in the 90s it crashed.
Yeah.
But that huge amount, it tends to be like this 40, 50 year kind of cycle. We're at the 20s, so we're just coming. It's starting to mature,
and obviously,
but I don't think what you're talking about is I don't think we will see the internet at its best. It's got so the internet is so it can develop so much more than what it already is, whereas we will probably see the maximum amount of money that's made out of it.
Because you go into the industrial period, it's like things start off slow and then they grow exponentially, and the curve goes like that, and then obviously it
just levels up.
But then again, that's how can you base the internet off off like what are you basing it off? Like it could just be anything.
No, you are completely right.
What I think anyway is you, with these things, so like like the financial era in the 80s where they make huge big money. That's when big money was invented, and then that's what it's called. And then it kind of leveled off and it stopped, and now it's kind of at a steady pace, and it hasn't really changed since. That's
just
what's going to happen with the internet. So like the 90s, they made a huge amount of money. They had the .com boom. Then we've had the social media era, now making loads of money from that and influencer marketing. And now it's going to start to. I think there's going to be a new phase, one more phase, and then it starts to kind of level.
Yeah. Well, something needs to change about social media at the moment.
I think that probably will be the next change. Yeah.
I think I'm going to get onto my last point. It's
super interesting.
It's less of a point. It's more of just a really interesting thought. Everything we've ever owned is still is somewhere. Just think about it. Like I'm talking about this from like a landfill. Perspective. Just like
everything that we've thrown away.
Everything in our lives is still there.
It's a big topic, recycling and our waste. I mean, did you see in Bali there's a river that joins into the sea, and it's miles long, and it's starting. There's so much crap in the river. It's finally starting to reach the ocean. So there's been in the last few weeks there's been a global effort for clean up teams to go out to Bali to try and clear it, and they're doing really well.
That happened in Mauritius as well, and they're
nowhere near.
Yeah.
Like so the river comes down like a hill like that, and say from like here to there, that's now cleared. But
still got so much
all the way back.
Yeah, it's really actually quite scary.
Yeah.
There's not one island you can visit on this planet and you won't find
rubbish.
Have you seen like the Chinese started to think about launching their rubbish into space?
Yeah.
That's
everyone was like, they could just come back to Earth in like a meteorite. It's just like
that's how bad the land, because a lot of crap goes to China. Like a lot of our rubbish and our recycling, we don't finish the refining here. We send it to China, and they're not doing it.
Could we just send it on a rocket?
So like but think about the cost of sending it up and the energy you'd need to send that amount of weight up.
Yeah,
true. It's like burying it. That's for so many years. People were just burying it.
Yeah,
because it was easier and cheaper.
It's really actually quite scary to think about. Because we've owned a lot in our lives.
Yeah. You think? Okay, so
imagine when you die, you just see like a representation of the amount of rubbish you've left on the earth.
There'll be fields.
Yeah.
Have you seen the website that you can track your carbon footprint?
Yeah.
So you put in the flights that you've done, the average miles that you travel in your car each, and it's fucking scary. Don't want to do it. Well, you do, because it makes you realise how much you do. But
yeah, when you look back in history and it's just like terrible things have happened, but the people didn't know what they were doing. Like the people didn't know it was wrong.
But now we know.
Like, do you reckon in the future, in 100 years' time, they're going to look back at us and be like, they almost
screwed it.
We think we're better than the generation before, yet the generation after us are going to think like, what the fuck were you guys doing?
Yeah,
exactly.
And do you know what the scary?
Which is knowledge.
The scary thing is, we know, right? We know about these terrible things. Are we acting on it? Not really.
Probably not at the rate we're
not at the rate that we need to be.
Yeah,
we're reacting. Yeah. But I don't. There's just there isn't the global care that there should be.
But I think there's so much going on in the world that's happening immediately that we need to focus on right now rather than the environment. But even though I think that we definitely should be doing that. There's wars, there's poverty, there's everything like that needs to be addressed.
I had a philosophical thought about this. So there's
just sitting in bed, just looking up at the
stars.
There's
the meaning of life. Okay, what if? What if? So, and you know how like I like to believe in that, like kind of for some reason that like our spirit lives on.
Yeah,
I want to always be present in some way, but. It's like, just think about this, like, what if we do fuck the world so bad that in, 100 years' time, nobody's going to be alive? Does that not make our lives seem
pointless?
Worthless?
Yeah.
See, I saw a thing the other day.
100%.
It was like, so you know how we think there's like all these planets out there that are kind of like, like Mars?
Yeah.
That's already like fucked. So it could have been
someone else,
It could have been there. But they were like the single planet species, and they killed themselves. And actually, we're the only ones left in the solar system. That's one of Elon Musk's
theories.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. So, anything else?
I think I really enjoyed all of that. I really
you learned a lot.
You guys both brought up some great points. I've learned a lot.
So I know what a SPAC is.
Yeah. What is it?
Special Purpose Acquisition Companies.
Boom. Nice one, dude.
We're going to be one of them.
So there we go. That is the PMH podcast, episode number 7. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you.
Please follow us on all social media channels.
Have a good weekend.
At Polar Media.
Subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Peace.